I'm going to take a moment and just look at layers and talk to you a little bit about why I feel layers are an important thing to use in Adobe Illustrator 2019. So let's go ahead and pull up the layers palette. I'm going to grab it from Windows, Layers, and let me go ahead and close those up. I'm going to move it to the side. You can actually change the size of the icons in the palette if you go into that little kind of the three lines up there and select option. And I actually like to have these a little bit larger. I believe the default is something along this line, which is just ridiculously small, possibly a little larger than that, but not great. I'm going to go ahead and say other, and I actually like the 75 pixels. You could put 100 pixels if you like. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. There we go. Say OK. So one thing I'd like you to notice is that when I go ahead and select everything in here, I'd like you to see how these highlight. They have different colors for highlighting. So for example, when we click on this one, you can see that it's pink. When I click on this one, you can see that it's black, green down here, etc. And what this is telling you at a glance is that I've got different layers in here, and each layer has an assigned color. So let's go up and look at this one right here. So right here we see the layer color is black. Now you have the options to do things like turn off layers, just like in Photoshop. And let's say I want to go in and I want to select this one. I can simply come here and I can select that entire group, that entire layer. So I'm going to go back up to my little buddy up here. I'm going to select him and I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So to open it, you click here. And now what you're going to notice is that I've got combinations of paths and groups and shapes. If I want to select, say, this path, I can simply come here and click on that, and there is that path. If I want to look in a group, I'm going to come in here, and I've got that selected. Let me get a little bit larger so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I've got that selected, and now I can come in here and I can see the different elements of that and what that group is made out of. Let's say I just want to select that part of it. Okay, there we go. So one thing that this also has is, if this particular one does not have a clipping class, we will look at clips a little bit, clipping paths in a different video. But another thing you can do in Illustrator with layers that's so handy is you can move things around quite easily. So let's say I want to hide that particular coconut. And by selecting it, again, deselect, select. So you can see it's telling me it's this one right here. Let's say I want to put that so it cannot be seen at all. I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and there we go. It's below the palm leaves. So Control Z, put that back. Let's say I want to move this to the very front. So there we are. It's right here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Oh, it's already above that trunk right there. So there are also, you can also change the arrangement of objects by going into Object, Arrange, Bring to Front, Bring to Back, Send to Back, or Bring Forward or Bring Backwards. So Bring Forward If you select bring to front or bring to back, it's going to take it either to the very top layer or to the very bottom layer. But if you just want to move a piece a layer at a time, you would go to Object and select, oops, let's get it. I guess I have to select something, don't I? Yes, I do. Object, Arrange, and then bring forward to bring it up one level, or bring backwards to send it back one level. I personally really like coming into the layers and simply doing it there. I feel it's faster, but that's just my personal preference. Another thing I'd like to point out, and I'm going to go zoom out here, is that you want to try to get everything into its own layer. Now, I actually have one in here that I made that error of having parts, shapes that should have been in one layer actually put into another layer. And how I can tell is look at these icons. Okay, now look down here at transportation. When I select transportation, you'll notice that I have the orange telling me I'm in that particular layer, and that is the orange guidelines being used. But you'll notice that I have these little shapes here in the one that's next to it, which is traffic, which is this file down here. Also, if I turn off the visibility, you can see the little clouds disappear on that. So what I need to do is I need to go into this particular one and open it up. I'm going to go find those little clouds. And one way I can do that quickly, oh, there we go. It's a group, I believe. Let's see here. Let's see what happens when I turn off that, when I select that. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, my error is that I'm looking in the wrong layer. So this is a good example of doing something incorrectly and learning from that. I need to go back into this layer here, open it up, select one of these little, there we go, we've got a bunch of them there. What happens if I grab this one? One. So it's all of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab them all, grab all of these, I'm pushing down the Shift key while I'm selecting them. Okay, so I've got all of those selected. I'm going to go to Edit and Cut because I want to remove them. And now I want to go to the file they should be in, which is this one right here. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to move them up. And I'm actually going to group those while I'm in here. So I'm going to go ahead and group those. I'm going to go to Object and Group. And there we go. So now those are in the correct place. Let's take a look at these icons now. Okay, so you can see that there is no longer this kind of reduced icon there. So my argument for using layers, they are very, very handy, especially when you're working with very complex files or multiple images on one file.